Hi, hello, welcome to episode 9 of Super Battle Club. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Austin.
Hi, hello. Thanks for having me back.
If you understood our alphabet trouble last episode, there will still probably be alphabet trouble here. I believe this is going to be rank E. If not, I'll just cut this part out, but we'll figure it out. So in this episode, we meet 2 new characters, I think, but we won't rank up this episode, even though every episode title is a rank up. That's just pacing on our end.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking more about the Mega Battles, especially some new Megas that they showed off. And I know we skipped a couple Megas that were after Canary.
Yep.
But we can talk about them here. So this is another storyline beat of learning that Tawny or Urbane have borrowed money from the Rust Syndicate, which we've seen in like the early trailers of Corbeau.
Right.
And so that is now a story beat of figuring out how much money Tawny has borrowed and how much we have to pay her back.
She should have just asked us to pay them. You know what I mean?
think yeah. She doesn't know how good we are at night with collecting money from the people in the town.
And they're like the same rank as us. You'd think they'd have some money too. What are they spending it on? Coffee. $100,000 coffee is what it is.
Yeah. I don't think your $100,000 coffee increased your friendship any more than like a...
I don't think it did. I don't know.
Can you tip in this game? That was like a thing in X and Y. You could tip people?
Yeah, the photographers, right?
I thought you could like tip almost
Maybe.
everyone in that game.
That one I'm not sure, but I haven't seen a place to tip.
Okay.
I don't know what that says about the economy, but I don't know. We got Nurse Joy 2 jobs. We got the benches. No tips.
No tipping at all. When we get to the Rust Syndicate, we are met by... I like this trope in Pokemon games. I like the trope where you meet characters with just absurd personalities, or in this case, they just give this dude like this high, tight haircut for like no reason, and they give him like the smallest brows ever.
Yeah. He looks kind of silly, but I do appreciate him.
He definitely gives off that silly energy too. So anyways, you battle these 2 grunts, which is like not a double battle, like the Dedenne double battle, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, they easily could have, but it's not.
I don't know why. I mean, to be fair, I think the double Dedenne security doing a fantastic job.
They're working,
but
not getting tips, but they're working.
Yeah, I would tip them if I could. But I think that's the only double battle in the game. No, I think there's another one. I think there's a side mission where there's a double battle.
Not sure.
I remember being in some part of the city where there's like a basketball court / well, not a basketball court, it's like a Pokemon court,
right.
But it's like fenced in like a basketball court, that I felt was like another double battle. But this was not a double battle, and that stood out to me.
Yeah, I feel like normally in Pokemon games you get the 2 grunts, they'll double battle you.
Yeah.
This time it wasn't. So.
Yeah, they wasted all their marketing on the double Dedenne battle.
Yeah. Which is fun. I appreciate that. You know, I might have preferred that.
And then we have a gentleman that comes out. I think his name is Philippe. I said Felipe, but I was corrected that it was Philippe. That being said, if the game had voice acting, we wouldn't have these questions.
We would know. They could tell us.
He says what his name is. I think it's Philippe, but I don't know. He comes out, and we have not seen before in any of the trailers. But I don't remember his other Pokemon, but he has I think he has a Lairon. I don't know what he opens with, but his Mega is Skarmory.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this one?
Okay, at first, I did not like it at all. I don't know. For me, it just changed color and got bigger feet, which is fine, I suppose. I didn't really notice much different about it. I will say after seeing clips of it online with like people using it, I think I like it more.
Okay.
But
I think the shiny goes back to silver.
Oh, okay. I was a little curious about that, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this is just like a design preference, maybe others feel differently. I don't know how I feel about Mega Pokemon completely changing color scheme, especially when it goes like to what the shiny would be. But that's just like maybe a personal thing.
What about a Mega Pokemon getting a luscious head of hair?
That one's awesome. I'm in for
Okay.
it. Looks like Mozart or something. I'm here.
No, I feel you. I think I agree. I think a Mega Pokemon going a completely different color is kind of weird.
It just feels a little, I don't know, but then I think like if it was the silver color, it would be identical almost, aside from the claws on its feet, right? Is there anything? Maybe the wings are a little sharper. I don't know, but
this is your friendly reminder that Skarmory is a Gen 2 Pokemon. I know a lot of people think it was introduced in Gen 3. It was not.
Yeah.
It was just very hard to get to in Gen 2. I don't think it was that hard, but you had to like go around the mountain and then go down the mountain. Speaking of shinies, they retconned Shiny Slowpoke.
I saw that. It's so good now.
Yeah, they went from it being a barely slightly different shade of pink to like a lighter purple.
Yeah, almost purple. Yeah,
almost like a shade a little bit lighter than Slowbro shiny. Sorry. You get brought into the Rust Syndicate after defeating Mega Skarmory, and then that's where you meet Corbeau. We will not be fighting Corbeau in this episode of the podcast, but Corbeau tells you that Tawny borrowed 100,000 Poké-Dollars, and with interest, it's up to 1 million Poké-Dollars, and he seems like pretty interested in you, but he's going to give you like some jobs to help pay off the debt.
Yeah.
As of right now, I don't know where that story goes. So for commenters, please do not spoil the end of Corbeau's storyline because it's the very start. But right now, as what seems to be a villain and a bad guy, I like that his bad guy tactic isn't like I want all land or I want all sea or I want to destroy the world. I like that it's just extortion.
Yeah, he just wants money. He wants to take your money.
I like that, like, because Tawny or Urbane didn't read the fine print about interest, that they got screwed. The very
fine print you had to zoom in on.
That they got screwed over that way.
It feels a little real. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it feels just like the anti-homeless benches. The game feels very real.
I don't know. They really made it seem real in this one.
So I'm very into him just extorting you. I think there is an NPC that talked about, like, I don't know what the little dialogue was, but all I remember them saying is, I remember when you had to pay like 5 million Poké-Dollars to join Team Flare.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, Team Flare had a lot of potential. And they didn't really deliver with that. Like, I do like the concept of, in order to join this cult-like faction, you have to pay money to get in. Yeah. I like that, but I did think they didn't flesh out the Team Flare stuff enough. Although, did we talk about the Team Flare food truck?
No, we never brought that up.
It's pretty sick.
I love that it's there. I think it's really cool. They like drew a little squiggle through the logo. Yeah. They're like, don't worry about that. It's a whole new brand.
Yeah, I hope they do something with if they don't do anything with the Team Flare food truck, that's fine. I do like that it's there.
Yeah, it is a cool little that's the Flare logo with a little squiggle through it.
But are there not multiple Team Flare food trucks, or are there only one? Because I feel like this is the problem with I don't know where in the city it even is. If you were to fly to the Team Flare food truck, I don't know where in the city. I think it's close to the Eiffel Tower, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. What I will say though is that Team Flare logo has the squiggle through it, but then we know Mabel's is just a different color. no squiggle. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Maybe they
I
just
wonder. I wonder what the ratio is to like old time fans. Okay, I know there's probably how many copies did X and Y sell? Like 16 million copies, 17 million copies. How many of those people even remember Mabel? Number one, and then when they started playing Z-A, of those 16 million people, assuming that they all bought Z-A,
right.
how many just like recognize that that was Mabel versus also people who never played X and Y who are going there to be like, oh, this is just like the professor with
Yeah,
no clue that
no
that was
idea.
Mabel.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like there's probably a good chunk. Obviously, the spaces that we're in, I think a lot of people know Mabel, but for the most part, for like general, just like casual players, or even just like you had said, I don't know if she's that memorable.
she definitely was not memorable in X and Y.
No.
There was like 4 or 5 of Lysander's like higher end grunts.
Yeah, and like there was that one photo somewhere. I think it might have been in there, but the Zerosic picture, no one knows who that is. Nobody cares about him.
I instantly fell in love with Corbeau meeting him though.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm trying to think of like he kind of gives off a little bit of Colress vibes where like
Okay.
my first impression I haven't even beat the game, so I legitimately don't know. My first impressions of Corbeau is he is presented as this bad guy. He's extorting people. That's cool. But also there's like a glimpse where he could be like an in-between person where he could do some good things.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the same energy Colress had. Like
Okay.
when Colress in Black 2 White 2, which also I feel like no one played, was a bad guy working for Getsus, but also kind of doing good things, but also he would say all the time he doesn't care if it's good or bad, he's just doing what he
He's just doing what
believes
he
is
does.
right. Yeah, he's just doing what he does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's just capturing Kirim and putting him in an airship and firing ice
Nah,
beams everywhere.
It's fine. It's all right.
Uh so this leads into where are my notes? This leads into the mega stuff. That's what we were talking about. Because we missed some mega stuff, so we're gonna catch up on all the mega stuff. So somewhere after Canary, there was Mega Halucha, 2 other megas I can't think of, and then after Ivor was Mega Barbarical, Mega Mawile, Mega Ampharos. I think Halucha was like the only new one.
Yeah, Halucha was the only new one
And
in
then
the first batch, or I guess it was second batch, but
yeah, and then there was a Banette, and there was one more, but it was an old mega.
Mawile, or was that
No, Mawile was
was the
after.
second one?
Oh, Beedrill.
Oh, okay.
I do have the notes here. So we have 6 megas to talk about. So 9 total we would have done, I think. Well, and then the Absol, so that would be 10. How do you, after now doing 10 of these mega battles, how do you feel about the purple room you are forced to fight these in?
I think it's fun. I think it would be nice to kind of incorporate some of the buildings or the landscape that we encounter them in. I think that would be fun. But I understand why we're in a purple room, because if we're battling on a small roof, we're not gonna be able to do anything, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. As far as the second batch of megas, including the Halucha, for me personally, I thought these ones felt easier than the first ones. And I don't know if that was because I just got used to these new mechanics that we're learning about, or if they just weren't iconic in like they weren't strong enough or hard enough for me. But yeah, I thought it was cool to see Halucha.
Yeah. I think maybe I at this point have not bought the experience share Labubu doll.
Okay, I did.
Because I was worried about being over leveled. I don't think I was over leveled for any of these, and I don't think being like 1 or 2 levels above is
No.
over leveled. When I think over leveled, I think like 5, 6, 7 levels
Okay.
plus. The mega, I like how they're all different, and I think this is probably my favorite part of the game. Not because they're terribly hard. I actually don't struggle with these. I think I like them because I can see the future of multiplayer with these, assuming that that's the route they want to go down.
I really hope it is.
I never want to say like, oh, this game is. It's just like a standard trope, I think, with Pokemon fans to be like, well, this game is obviously testing for this game, and this they're all doing that. Like they're just always trying something new and then expanding on that. Or
when was the last time you could go underwater? You know.
So like every game is always doing something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they just build on that. So I think, going from the Dynamax raids to the Scarlet and Violet raids, to what I think is what is going to end up as the future of raids, possibly. I think this is the next stepping stone. It's just missing other real people. Instead, they just give you one CPU.
Yeah. And
I don't know if that's just because... I think that is purely because of the Switch one. There's nothing in this game that says that... There's nothing in this game unique to the Switch 2 that isn't just how it runs.
Right.
Like, it's the same textures. It's just they look better. It's the same game. It just has more frame rate. So I know for a long time I was like on the normal podcast, I was like, I think they're only going to do one SKU. And you could argue that they did do 2 SKUs, but it is the same game.
It's the same.
You can put the red cartridge in your Switch 1 and it will work. So just a heads up to people if they didn't know. Like, it is the same. The only thing you're getting is more frame rate and the textures are better. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's like a technical thing you're getting, but it's not like you're getting 1 extra area or you're getting 2 extra Pokemon, or it's the same game. And so like I think that also goes in, why people are upset that the Switch 2 version is ugly. It's not even like they gave the Switch 2 version different buildings. It's just the same buildings.
Yep.
And whatever, like I think we've beaten that dead horse, but I do think that when I think of things that are missing, I have to remind myself this was always a Switch 1 game.
Right.
Which is an 8-year-old system, and if it was only Switch 2, I'm sure it would be doing a lot more. In the sense of like the Switch 2 is more powerful. So I hope that if they continue these battles, it would be cool to do them with other people. I don't know if we talked about this when we talked about the Megas, but I think we did, because Lida, her Staryu uses Safeguard, and it went onto my Pokemon.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like, and I believe if you use Reflect or Light Screen, it will go onto her Pokemon. So there is like a foundation of multiplayer that's already there. I don't think like Helping Hand is in the game, or I don't think like Heal Pulse is in the game.
Right, I don't believe so.
But I like all these raids because every single raid is like something I've done in another game.
Absolutely. Yeah, it feels we talked about this already, but it feels like an MMO raid. World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy is the one we bring up the most. That's what it feels like. And we've said this before, but I would love for them to continue this and add more of multiplayer elements to where we can do it with friends. We can like heal our teammates or actually take use of like the safeguard and stuff.
Yeah, I think Mega Ampharos was kind of easy. He didn't move a lot, and I understood that like he has an electric field around him that he pushes out, and then he puts like electric puddles around.
Yeah, his big move was like, oh, I'll just go over there really quick.
Yeah, it didn't feel that different from like Mega Absol or Mega what was the one we fought? Victory Bell, where it was just like I'm gonna put, instead of pools of poison, he was like, I'm gonna put pools of electricity down.
Yeah.
Mawile was cool to watch Mawile like leave the arena.
That one, at first I was like, oh, did I encounter my first bug? My first
I thought so
glitch?
too. I was like, oh, my game's
I
bugging
was
out.
like,
She's not in the arena.
not supposed to be doing that. But then I was like, oh no, that's cool. That's different.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
I didn't die to Mawile, but I didn't also understand how to properly dodge the moon. I think they were moonblast that she was like throwing in.
Yeah, I was just trying to run in between them, and I still got hit.
Like I definitely know they have tracking, and I definitely know they fall slowly, but I wasn't sure I wasn't sure if I was supposed to go back and forth or up and down.
Yeah,
it was a little confusing.
Never figured that one out either.
Mega Beedrill had like the agility thing where it would get really close to you, which they kind of repeat with Barbaracle. It's just that Beedrill doesn't hit as hard as Barbaracle. Hawlucha was the first Pokemon, I think, that had an actual damage check that mattered.
Okay.
And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but like almost all of these Mega Pokemon, they'll like either go to the center of the arena and start charging up, and when they finish charging up, they'll do a huge move. So like Hawlucha's huge move when it's done charging up is it flies up into the sky, and then no matter where you are in the arena, it's going to land on you and do a ton of damage. And I think the move is Flying Press. But in like MMOs like Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft, or even in Destiny, when you're doing a raid boss, there's a point where if the game wants you to do a bunch of damage as fast as possible, and if you don't do that, you have ultimately failed what is called the damage check, and then the boss gets to do what it's doing. And a lot of times with like Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft, you're just dead. And maybe for some people, when Hawlucha used Flying Press,
that was the case.
You're dead, right? The difference is you probably had 5 other Pokemon to send out.
Right, yeah, where in those other games you have your one character.
Right, and they're wiping the entire team.
Yeah.
And so there's 2 reasons for a damage. Well, the main reason for the damage check is to not waste your time. So, for example, in like Final Fantasy 14, when you're fighting against Shiva, I'm going to use Shiva in a future episode for a different example. She'll do like her first damage check at like 80% of her health, so after like the first 1/5 of the raid. And it's ultimately to be like, is your team coordinated enough and good enough to continue doing this?
Right.
Because if you can't even get past this point, you're not going to get past the other point. So we're just going to like check you right now because we don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, it's the bar. If you make it past this bar, you're probably good for the next step, but if you can't, you need to figure this one out.
Right. So I think Hawlucha was the first like bar of, can you do this damage check? If not, we're going to Flying Press. You have to go into a new Pokemon and try again. Now, it's Pokemon, so the easy way to get around that is, I don't know, just switch to a Ghost Pokemon, and now you can't get hit by
ways
flying...
around it. Yeah. There's ways around it in this type of game, but...
But then the other... So I think that's really cool. I think like a damage check in a Pokemon game is absolutely fantastic. I think that's why I go back to these being really great. And then Bayonet has... It also has a damage check, but it doesn't matter as much. But its damage check isn't on itself. I was in this raid battle for way too long because I was like trying to figure out what the game actually wants from me. And it was funny because my Twitch chat was like, Steve, the bayonet you're supposed to attack is like
no health above
has no health bar. And I was like, no, I know that. That's like very obvious because it sends out like 2 or 3 other bayonets.
Yes.
And I noticed that there was like one time where I cleared all 3, and then it like fell backwards, like the Hawlucha falls backwards for like the damage check. But then if you don't clear all of them, it kind of just like does a little bit of damage and confuses you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as demanding to pass that check.
Right. It doesn't seem like if you fail the check, it doesn't seem like a punishment. And I think for like there are other Pokemon that have damage checks that like if you fail it, it doesn't seem like a punishment either. I think the Hawlucha is like the raw damage of just the Flying Press like was like, oh, I took a lot of damage here, but there's a way to stop that. I think with like Bayonet, again, this is like future thinking and being hopeful and being optimistic, is that raid makes sense when there are more players.
Yeah.
Because like who was it, Lita in that raid? Like she wasn't really doing anything.
No.
But if it was like me, you, and like 2 other people, and there were 4 bayonets, it would be like, okay,
you
we
take
all
this one, I'll take that one.
Exactly, because we need to stop them before the damage check. And then if we defeat all of them except the main one, it prevents the damage check, and then we can all like, okay, we all focus on the fake ones, they're all dead. Okay, now we all pull together on the real one, and then the fake one, and then that's the cycle. So I think there's like potential there. It's just like, I think that raid is just more annoying than anything.
Right. It kind of
like
was.
the mechanics that you're supposed to do, which is like defeat all the fake ones. It's just better to ignore it.
Yeah,
because the punishment isn't bad.
Right, absolutely. So like, if they were to improve on this stuff, I say give the Pokemon more health, make it harder to knock out, and then have multiplayer, and then those things would matter.
Yes, and then have like 2 or 3 cycles of like, okay, now that it's at 70%, it's going to start using this move. Now that it's at 30%, it's going to start using this move. And there is some of that in future raids. And then the last one I wanted to talk about before we wrap up this episode is Barbarical, which I think I was told was the hardest one.
I died the most to this
one.
Oh,
you did?
I did.
But this also has a damage check.
I couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah, so when he's charging up in the center, if you do a ton of damage, it prevents him from doing the Focus Blast, which is the giant like hyper beam. I think it's supposed to be Focus Blast.
Probably.
So if you completely pass the damage check, he never does that move. And I think was that the move that was killing you? Was the beam?
Because he would like phase towards you and do the punch move, which like you just roll out of the way, not that big a deal. But then it just blasts you, and I'm like, I don't know how to. This one's harder to dodge. Yeah. I think I died like 4 times to this one.
Yeah, the other thing is, unlike because he does the teleport like Beedrill, but unlike Beedrill, he'll increase his attack stat.
Yeah.
So I was using Dedenne for most of the fight, and I was just like charming it and then using Parabolic. So he wasn't getting the damage buff. And I did die from the first dynamic punch because I was like, I didn't even know he did that. Like I passed the damage check.
Yeah.
Which is like no big deal. But when I didn't pass the damage check, the giant beam comes through. And then I was watching somebody else play, and I told them, he's charging up DPS him now, and they did, and I was like, okay, because they were. And there was never a laser. I was like, okay, I wasn't.
Oh, cool, nice.
I was like, I'm pretty sure, because I beat it so quickly that I was like, I'm pretty sure that was it.
Must be nice.
Yeah. So the Barbarical and the Hawlucha were very similar. Of like the damage check prevented almost getting like one shot by things.
Real quick, I love Mega Barbarical. One of my favorites.
Really?
Really, I think he's so cool.
He goes from rock, water to rock fighting, I think.
Don't know, but I just know he looks cool.
He does change types. Okay, I think we'll stop there. And then the next episode will be the rest of the Corbo storyline up to battling Corbo.
Yep.
So I don't know what letter that is. I'm not going to try to figure it out. Thank you for making it to the end. If you want to support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/PKMNcast, you'll get all the bonus episodes. You'll get access to the Slack. You'll get the ad-free podcast. You get a bunch of other stuff too. So, and then if you're a patron around Christmas time, you'll get our Christmas card that we send out every year.
Whoa.
So
fancy.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Or I don't know. Actually, this comes out on Sunday. So if this does come out on Sunday, then we will see you on Tuesday because the normal episode will be on Monday. So we will see you guys later. Thank you for listening, and see ya later.